Good morning, and welcome to the Monday, December 11th edition of the Daily Fix. We appreciate you all joining. This is your first week, first month, first group of sessions. Thank you for being a part of the community. I'm sure that you've been welcome. Hopefully, you see the Christmas theme, the holiday theme that we have set up for you all as we get towards the Christmas break and then also the New Year. So thank you for being with us today. I'm your moderator, Breion, and we've got a great session planned for you all this morning. A few quick announcements before we get started with today's content. First, gala tickets. We still have a few available. Now, when I say a few, I really mean a few. So if you're interested in being in the building, there is some urgency. We would love to see you, love to meet you all in person. So be sure to check out the link. We'll make sure we put that back in the group me, back in Patreon for those of you who may be interested in gala tickets. Because again, every time Brittainy goes live, there ends up being few and few available as people are interested to, be a part of the activity that we're doing. Focus group. Those of you who are interested, tonight at 7 p.m., the link will be posted in Patreon. So we want you to join us again. We're interested in what you would like to see, maybe what you think could change, what things we could update, move, content related. So please give us more details as it relates to that. So focus group tonight, 7 p.m. Link will be in Patreon. And lastly, that road to 100. So we've been stuck at about 71, 72 here and there the last maybe month or so. So if you all would be interested, share with people, let them know what the community is about. We're at 71 members right now, so eager to see that number road to 100. So share, let people know what's going on with the Daily Fix. A couple other things, just get you oriented with the process and how things work. Monday, Tuesday would typically be Coach Brittainy content. On Wednesday, some special guests, and then every other Thursday we have our After Dark. This week would be an After Dark also. So we start 7 p.m. Central with the After Dark. A little different change up for those of you who can't make it in the morning. You can come in the evening, a little different environment there in the evening. So we encourage you all to join us for the After Dark this Thursday as well. On the mornings, you'll get a link from the YouTube page that's posted in Patreon as well as in GroupMe. And then also, we typically will stream this live and then it's pulled down and you can only find the archive files in Patreon as well. So be sure if you missed the session, you can go back out to Patreon and gather that detail. We'll make a plug like I always do. If you have questions, you're not able to find something, you can always contact us at tdftribe@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to get in touch with us, as it's a monitored email box. You'll be able to get an answer there faster than you would trying to send it through GroupMe or send it on Instagram, etc. Always send it to tdftribe@gmail.com. And then before we bring Brittainy in, and I hop in an Uber because I'm in LA and I gotta drive like an hour. The traffic here is worse than Houston, and that's what's crazy. I'm gonna get into that here in a second. But you can see on the screen, there are comments that are happening in real time. So if you prefer to say something more anonymous or not everyone to see it, or if you've got a question that you don't want everyone to see, please do not put it in the chat. It's more difficult for us to post a video after. These are hard coded into the system. So we encourage you to share that email, send it to us versus putting it in the chat. So let's bring Brittainy in for today's session. Good morning.
Well, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Landed late last night,
Uh-huh.
so I'm here. It's like, going to be 70 and sunny, but the traffic between San Diego and LA and Southern California is terrible. It is ridiculous. Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, how terrible it is to be out in LA with
it's
beautiful
really bad
weather.
because I have an 8
Are you
a.m.
going to go
meeting.
see the Lakers today?
First off, you should be telling my business. You know what I'm saying? You out here exposing. No, that is not the
I just want to
engagement.
know what expectations I need to set. Okay.
This morning is some of my higher ed clients. The problem is I've got to make it to La Jolla, which is like 40 miles, but it's going to take like an hour. So I'm jumping in an Uber as soon as I get done with this here.
Okay.
But I'm grateful to be here. Last trip of the year. I don't go anywhere until after Martin Luther King, so I'm happy. Well, at least not business related. I'm sure I'll do something personal,
Right,
but
right.
no business
Good,
related travel. So last one. Yeah.
good,
So
good.
two days in Southern California.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna try to golf this afternoon too, though. So that will be a at least I'll get a little time. Yeah,
Such an inconvenient
it
trip.
is.
Oh
It
my
really
gosh.
is. I prefer to golf at home in Houston, where I know the course. Being
You know,
here, I'm a
Brian,
struggle
I
a little bit.
strive to have those complaints in my life.
That,
Okay.
I'm not. That is not a
I
complaint.
can't
I'm
wait till
just.
I can complain about being in LA or oh my gosh, how hard it is for me to concentrate on life.
It's really difficult. It really is. I left my family. You know what I'm saying? I got a good night's sleep. They could have been home struggling right now. You know.
Oh, well, my family is in LA.
So I should be finding Michael B. Jordan. That's what you say, right?
I don't know what's the holdup is. Okay. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
the
mean,
progress.
I'm here as a working man. I'm not a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? So I can't do that. Cannot do that. So what
Anyways,
what are we talking about today?
first of all, let me apologize to the group. I went and tried to find the visualization video that I wanted, and I could not find it. So I told myself this morning, I'm just probably going to record my own manifestation video because I really want a certain one, and it was nowhere on YouTube. So I'm probably just going to record it, and I will send it to you guys. Hopefully, I can get it done this week. I should be able to get it done this week, and then I'll send it to you guys to do your guided visualization.
Okay.
Um, and so today, so if you guys started with us in December, we are talking about dreaming again. So we started off this conversation talking about putting an end to 2023, laying 2023 to rest so that we can be ready to embrace everything that 2024 has for us, right? So this is kind of our prep for the new year. And in order to be ready for the next year, we have to work on mindsets and limiting beliefs and all of the baggage that we had or accumulated last year before we go into the new year. So today, I had you guys doing guided imagery and visualizations and writing your dream, and we got really excited about what was to be. Now, I know that with the dream, with clarity of what the dream is and what we see, the possibility of what can be is always partnered with fear. So this morning, I want to talk about facing the fear so that as you are pursuing your dreams, pursuing your visions, you will know how to handle the fear when it comes up so that it is not stifling who you can be and what you can become in next year.
Okay. Okay. Sounds like a great session. So for today and
Mhm.
tomorrow, I will not come back on to tell jokes and or give my impressions. But don't worry, I'll make up for it on Thursday. I'll make up for it on Thursday night in the after dark. I will have some thoughts. So
And
y'all
we
be
do
prepared.
have the after dark drink. I'm going to post it today.
Okay. All right. So I'll let y'all get to it. Enjoy. Wish me luck to make it to where I need to be by 8 a.m. this time because it's random. It be random out here. It really does. So y'all have a great
You
session.
can do it.
Bye.
All right, you guys. And make sure you're taking your vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin B, all of the vitamins, because I don't know what got to me this weekend, but I was definitely out for the count. So make sure we are hydrating. You are well bundled up. Take the emergency, take that, okay? Because something had me over the weekend and I'm just now recovering. So let's hop into this fear. All right. One of the things that we had said it either on the Friday, I think it came up on our Friday Q&A, right? Where there's this fear about approaching what the dream could be. I want to talk about some of the common reasons why we are afraid when it comes to pursuing the dreams and visions that we have for ourselves. And then I'm going to tell you what to do with it. Okay. When we talk about fear, one of the quotes that I just love is the quote that I think it came up on Friday. I watched Coach Carter recently too, but in the movie Coach Carter, where he says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." Okay, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. So that would urge you to think, why would someone be afraid of being powerful? Why would someone be afraid of accepting the fact that they are capable of doing the thing that they desire to do? First and foremost, the most common fear you will always see is the fear of failure. If I set out to do something, will I fail? What if I don't make it? What if it doesn't work the way that I want it to work? What if this? What if that? And so, anytime we're pursuing something great, either to become something great or do something great, the first thing that pops into our head is, well, what if I fail? Right? The thing that we have to acknowledge about the fear of failure is that, one, it's normal. Okay, it's absolutely normal. It's like if I'm jumping off of a roof, the fear of, Brittany, you could probably break your leg. That's a real possibility. If I'm jumping off of a roof, I could probably break my leg. And what's so funny as I say this, when we were little, one of our childhood homes, that's what we used to do. We would climb up on the roof and we would jump off the roof. It was a one-story home, but there was like a shed over the backyard. We would climb up on top of it and jump off. This was before tablets. This was before YouTube. Okay. So we had to keep ourselves entertained. Mind you, my mama at work somewhere. And it always gets me how, as children, we would think nothing of climbing on a roof and jumping off of it for entertainment. Because as children, we didn't understand what limitations were. As children, we didn't understand what disappointment was. As children, we didn't have an idea of, well, what if you jump off and you hurt yourself? Because we hadn't been hurt yet. The reason why people fear failure is because at some point in my life, I have failed at something, or someone has told me that I have failed at something. And so because I have a history of a mistake, a history of a failure, a history of making the bad decision, now as I am pursuing this next phase of my life, I am using that history to inform my future decisions. And this is why failure now is crippling to me. This is why failure now feels stifling to me. Whereas before, I didn't even know what failure was. So I felt ready and able and capable to do all of the things that I want to do. If you've lived long enough, you have had a brush up with failure in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You have had a brush up with some mistakes and some bad decisions and some regrets, right? That is a function of being a human being and living. So the key is to embrace the fear of failure without allowing it to consume me. This is why we focus so much on your mindset. This is why we cover the thought distortions, my perception, how many times my perception could tell me that I'm failing when I'm really not. How many times the way that I'm looking at something could tell me that I have not been successful when I know I have factual evidence. I have a list of my successes, right? You have to have something every day that you look at that reminds you that if I have been successful in my past, I can be successful in my future, right? It's so funny how we look at our past issues, our past mistakes, and we use that to inform us of what can't happen. But what you don't do is you go look at your successes and use that history to inform me of what is possible. If I did it before, I can do it again. If I did it before, I can do it again, right? If I healed before, I can heal again. If I made six figures before, I can do it again. If I was successful in a relationship, I can do it again. Wherever I am in my life right now, if I did it before, I can do it again. And I have evidence for why I can do it again, because look at my I'm the shit list. Okay, look at my successes. Look at my mountains that I've climbed. Look at everything that I have been before. If I did it before, I can do it again. And this is very important for people who have gone from one level of success to another level. One of the hard parts about achieving or becoming better or healing is that you get comfortable on one level because I've mastered it, right? And so when you get promoted, you go to the next level, but you don't go to the next level on 10. You go to the next level starting at beginner, number 1. So even though you got promoted to the next level, there is a process that has to happen for you to master the next level. So you go to the next level, but you're starting as a beginner. And most of us don't like to start as a beginner. So now that I'm at step one, I feel like I'm failing, right? I feel like I'm not as good as I thought I was. I feel like I have a lot to learn. I feel like I'm set back because you didn't anticipate the learning curve. I'm telling you, we get so excited about going to the next level, about getting the promotion. But when you get the promotion, you don't start at level 10, you're starting at level 1. And there is a process of growth that has to happen on the next level. So I have to anticipate the learning curve. I have to anticipate the learning curve of this new level. Okay. And so if I anticipate the learning curve, then I go into it with the mindset of this is going to be difficult. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not going to get it right. I'm going to need mentorship in order to master this level. Right. But needing the mentorship, making the mistakes, not getting it right, it being difficult doesn't mean that I have failed. It means I'm on a new level and I'm mastering that new level. Right. I did squats today. How much did I weigh? I don't know. I don't know how much I put on the bar. Let's see. I never count. I put 20, 30, 120 plus the bar, right? So I squatted 120 plus the bar. 120 plus the bar. I don't know how much. The bar is probably 45. I don't know. Either way, that's how much I squatted today. However, last week I was squatting maybe 20 on each side. Okay. Last week I was like, listen, we just want to get 10 out the way. All right. We just want to get through these sets, right? Mastering my body means that as I grow, as my muscles grow, as I get better, I don't get to stay at 2 sets of 20. I don't get to stay at the low weight if I want to keep growing. And the minute that I add more weight to the bar, my body feels like I've never squatted before in my life. Okay? Never squatted before because I added more weight. And just because you add more weight, it doesn't mean that your body is failing you. It doesn't mean that you are failing yourself because more weight has been added to your plate. Understand that if I'm going to conquer my fear of failure, I have to adjust to just how uncomfortable the growing process is and partner with that fear. Let it be my signal to know, oh, I'm in a new space. I'm in a new space. I'm doing something different. I'm doing something new. Let me collect the resources that I need to be successful. When I feel fear, the first thing I ask myself, what do you need to feel successful? What do you need to feel confident? Because if you're afraid of this, cool. It just means you don't feel prepared. Okay, what do you need to get prepared? Not going into why I'm unprepared and why I don't have it and why it's not for me and why it's this. No, what do you need to get prepared so that the fear no longer has power? It's okay to feel afraid. The fear is signaling to you that you need resources, you need help, you need something. What do you need so that you can walk into this room, walk into this stage, walk into this assignment and feel confident and prepared in what it is you have to do? All right. Now, second fear is the fear of not being good enough. Not being good enough. That same quote, it says, our deepest fears is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fears is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. So we ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Who are you not to be brilliant? Who are you not to be talented? Who are you not to be successful? Who are you not to be the first in your family to go to college? Who are you not to be the first successful entrepreneur in your family? Who are you not to be the one who has the successful marriage in your life? Who are you not? Who said you were not capable of those things? Self-doubt is failure's little sister, okay? Self-doubt is that voice that's telling us we're not good enough for it. We're not worthy for it. We haven't worked hard enough for it. We haven't done enough to be eligible for it. Self-doubt is the voice that will tempt you to forget that I was born worthy of it. Self-doubt is the voice that tells you that you have to earn worthy. Self-doubt is the voice that tells you that you have to earn grace, you have to earn goodness. And worthiness is not something you earn, it's something you're born into. Worthiness, being worthy of something, is not something I earn. It is something I am born into. So, as you're looking at these visions that you have for 2024 and beyond, if you're asking yourself, who am I to think I could do it? Why do you think you could achieve that? Why do you think that you could have that? If you're asking yourself why it has to be you, then I will ask you, why not you? Why can't it be you? Why can't that be your story? The only thing that's holding you back is how you see yourself. And if you see yourself as someone who was born worthy, and so I am matching my actions to complement what I was born into, then you will see someone who's moving forward, even though they're unsure, even though they're afraid, even though they don't feel steady. Because I'm worthy of it, my actions, my footsteps, my behaviors are in alignment with what I believe I'm worthy of. Not what the world told me, not what the relationship told me, not what the job told me, right? None of that. No, I will never forget, never. That lady hated it to the day she left. One of my first supervisor, she just couldn't, she just, older white woman, okay? Older white woman. And I'm telling you, people will see you before you see yourself. I used to have the hardest time understanding why people didn't like me. I used to have, when I was fresh out of grad school, first of all, I'm feeling happy because I'm finally healed from that bad relationship. And I'm like on top of the world just because I have peace. Like, I'm just happy because I have peace. So I'm just moving through the world like, I'm God's child. He loves me. We done made it through some. I'm in my own little bubble. But I kept encountering people that didn't like me. And I'm like, I've done nothing to these people. And I remember I had a supervisor, older white lady, mind you, she recruited me from a different hospital for me to come and work for her. I didn't interview for this job. They didn't even post the job. She said, Brittainy, we want you to come for this position. Cool. So you went out of your way to recruit me. And when I got there, when I tell you, this lady treated me so bad. And in one of my evaluations, she told me that I wrote like I didn't speak English. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? She was like, yeah, the way you write your notes, I could barely read it. It was like it wasn't even English. I said, oh. So an English speaking master level clinician, Black woman, been speaking English my whole life. That's my primary language. You mean to tell me I wrote a note that was so horrible that you couldn't decipher English from it? I said, is that really the message that you're sending me right now? She was like, I'm just saying. I said, okay, well, let's print the note. Because see, this is where y'all don't want to play with me. Let's print the note and let's go line by line and let's see if we can decipher what it was I wrote in my note. And that turned into a whole thing. But I talked to my clinical supervisor and he was like, Brittainy, you're going to have to be okay with the fact that people don't like you because you are very much the person who will take her job. You may not see it yet. You may not see who you are yet, but there are people who don't like you because even in your first year, they can see who you are. They can see your potential. They can see everything that you can be, even if you can't see it, right? People hated the fact the director of our department was literally grooming me to become a director. I didn't ask her for it. I never told her I wanted it, but because she looked at me and said, this is leadership potential. This is someone who can lead our hospital. This is someone who can lead our department. She made a decision that this is a prodigy. I didn't ask for it, but because she made that decision and I had favor, everyone looked at me and was like, no, we don't like her. She's going to be our boss one day. She's going to be our boss one day, right? And so when you are questioning, and mind you, this is a time in my life where I'm going to people, I'm like, hey, can you mentor me? Can you help me? Because I was like, I'm still new at this. I'm a new clinician. I'm trying to learn. And everybody else was looking at me like, girl, what are you talking about? because you see yourself as a beginner. You see yourself in seed form, and people see your gift before you even see it. Who are you to tell yourself that you can't make it? Who are you to tell yourself that you're not capable? Who are you to tell yourself that it's not for you? Who are you to tell yourself that I can't do that? If I believe I'm worthy of it, your actions, your behavior, your footsteps should match what you believe. Do you believe you're worthy of it? Right? So once I started to believe, well, you know what? I probably can run this department. Once I started to believe, I probably can, be the director. I probably can be in the executive suite. Now I can see myself doing the thing. That's when you have a problem on your hands, because the minute that I can see myself doing it, the minute I believe I can do it, it's all hell on wheels, okay? Train has left the station. So you have to understand that with self-doubt, you're questioning who you are when you're already that thing, right? To overcome the self-doubt, first of all, I want you guys to get comfortable allowing people to see you starting from the bottom. Get comfortable allowing people to see you starting from the bottom, especially in this culture that we live in with Instagram. Everyone's afraid to post the beginning of their journey. Everyone's afraid to share the start of the business. I don't want to show you the 3 customers. I don't want to show you, the startup kitchen. I don't want to show you the starting, because I just want to show you the mountaintop, right? We talked about that mountaintop earlier, right? But what I have found is that if you are hiding your beginning, if you're hiding your start, then there's a level of shame that tells you, see, you ain't really doing nothing. See, this just your little business. See, you're not as successful, because I'm hiding the start of my process as if I'm embarrassed of it, as if I'm ashamed of it. You're going to have to become comfortable allowing people to start, to see your beginning, to see your start, not just showing them the finish. I don't want to show you what I look like when I lost the 20 pounds. Let me show you what I look like at the beginning with 0 pounds lost. Let me show you what I look like when I first start the business, because that's how I embrace my beginning. That's how I embrace my reality. That's how I show respect to where I am today without feeling like I have to hide where I am today. You cannot move out of self-doubt while still being embarrassed about where you are currently, right? To defeat self-doubt, I have to have confidence. And I have to have confidence on day 1 and day 2 and day 3. Not just when I get the degree, not just when I get the business going, not when I reach the level of success that I want to post about. But show day 1 when you have 0 clients. Show day 1 when you're just waking up to get back on that schedule. Show that day 1. And it doesn't have to be on Instagram, but this can be you talking to somebody about it. But don't be afraid to be vocal and to be, I really want to say, honor where you are, right? Because I have to honor where I am to get where I want to be. Honor where you are to get where you want to be, right? And that's when that self-doubt won't be able to creep up to you and question who you are, right? Fear of discomfort. Y'all, my voice is straining today. I don't know what it was that hit me over the weekend, but take your vitamins. Okay, fear of discomfort. Many people fear stepping out of their comfort zone. It's natural. It's normal, right? Our comfort zones are the places in our lives that we build that feel safe. Okay, that's the biggest thing about our comfort zones. They feel so safe. I've created this sphere in my life where everything is predictable. There's no surprises. I know what's going to happen here. I know how things work here. I have my routines down here. And so it makes sense that I want to stay in a place that is comfortable for me. But if you are going to embrace the fullness of your vision, you have to understand that at some point, your vision gets bigger than your comfort zone. At some point, Your vision gets bigger than your comfort zone. Your purpose gets bigger than your comfort zone. Your aspirations and your dreams get bigger than your comfort zone. So what happens when my vision gets bigger than this very small place I've been living in? Okay, very small. Going back to the quote, our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? The next part, you are a child of God. You are a child of God, and your playing small does not serve the world. Your playing small does not serve the world. This is why fear can't be your ruler, because if I truly am a child of God, daddy, my daddy who created the heavens and the earth, my daddy who's the one who created something from nothing, my daddy who made me instrumentally, picked every hair on my head. He picked my personality. He picked my strengths. He picked the things that made me fabulous. He even picked my limitations. He made everything about me in a strategic way. There wasn't a mistake made when I was created, because that's who my father is. So then how do I justify staying in these small positions? How do I justify staying in these small relationships? How do I justify staying in these small careers? How do I justify staying in a small mindset? Because it's comfortable. Because I got comfortable here, because I got used to being here. I got here and there's no more work required, so I like it here. I got here and I don't have to stretch anymore, so I like it here. I got here and I can take it easy, and I can sleep in, and I can eat what I want to eat and do what I want to do, and there's comfort here. And that's why it allows me to play small. But if I truly believe and I truly understand that as God's child, at some point, the vision is bigger. At some point, the purpose is bigger. At some point, what I've been called to be in this world is much bigger than what makes me comfortable. That means I can't allow the fear of being uncomfortable be the reason why I say no to the purpose, be the reason why I say no to the calling, because I want to be comfortable. I don't want to stress. I don't want to strain. I don't want to add more weight to the bar. I don't want to bench more than what I've been benching. I don't want to squat more than what I've been squatting. I don't want to be uncomfortable. When I acknowledged what I was being called to do, I didn't want it. And the reason why I didn't want it was not because I was like, oh, I can't do it, or, literally the first conversation I had with God about what I had to do, I said, God, first of all, I read the Bible, and everybody who said yes to what you wanted them to do, they went through hell. I ain't heard no story of nobody who said yes to the calling and they was just good. I ain't heard no story of anybody who decided to be obedient and then there was just immediate rewards. I haven't read that nowhere. What I have read is that when people say yes, there's problems. When people say yes, there's issues. When people say yes, devil comes out of hell and things get crazy. So my fear was, God, and you have to understand, this was at a place in my life where I had just come out of so much hell and turmoil that this was the first time in my adult life that I had finally reached peace, that I had finally reached a place of steady waters. There was no storm. There was no issues. I was cool coasting. I felt good. Joy was my portion every day. I woke up singing. This was a good place in my life. And so I was like, God, listen, I hear you. I understand. I get it. But I don't want to. I don't want to, because this comfortable place, it feels good here. There's nothing for me to be afraid of here. There's nothing that can hurt me here. And so because this feels good, I would rather stay here. And then y'all have heard me say I was working the job that I prayed for, kicked, hollered, and screamed for, cried on the altar for. I got that job. And so I'm at my dream job, new in my field. They called us into a big auditorium. All of the therapists, all the social workers, we came into a big auditorium. It's like 100 people. And, it was like our department meeting. And I'm in there and I'm happy to be here. And I'm just like, all right, yeah, hey, how y'all doing? I'm so full of joy and I'm just, happy. And I'm walking to this room. And in this whole auditorium, I'm looking across the auditorium. Everybody in this room looked miserable. Everybody in this room looked like they hated their jobs, looked like they hated what they did. Being there long enough, I figured out why they all looked the way they looked, okay? But I was in that room and I literally prayed. I said, God, I don't know what needs to happen, but don't let that be me. I don't want to be at this job 20, 30 years and that's what I look like. So you have to understand that choosing to be uncomfortable came from understanding that chasing the dream, the vision, the purpose that was over my life, that is what gave me joy. That's what gave me fulfillment. That's what gave me drive. That's what gave me purpose. All of those things came from being willing to trust the vision that was bigger than my comfort zone, to say, all of the happiness you want, it's not in this box you created. The fulfillment you want, it's not in this box. You can stay at this job. They're going to pay you well to stay here, but just know you're going to trade in your joy. Just know you're going to trade in your peace. Just know you're going to trade in the essence of who you are, because being here slowly kills you. Being here slowly takes away your joy. So you can stay here in this box because it's comfortable, but don't think that you're going to trade something for it. Don't think that you don't have to trade something for it. You're going to have to give up something. And that looks like joy. That looks like peace. That looks like fulfillment. Right? When I finally left that job, older social worker who had been there for over 20 years, she literally was in tears, crying. It was like, Brittainy, oh my gosh, like, I'm so proud of you. And she told me after that auditorium, I met with her. I called her into our own private meeting. And I literally asked her, I said, hey, what do I have to do to not look like those people? Like literally, like I said, I'm excited to be here, but what I just saw is scary. What do I have to do to not look like that? And she told me, she said, Brittainy, come here. This is a great place for you to get training. This is a great place for you to get what you need and get the experience you need. She said, get what you need and leave. Those were her exact words. Get what you need and leave. So by the time I was leaving, she was in her office crying tears of joy for me and was like, I'm so proud of you. Do whatever the hell you want to do with your life and do it well. Right? So we can't allow the fear of being uncomfortable stop us from chasing our dreams, stop us from stepping out on faith, stop us. Because yes, chasing the vision is going to be uncomfortable, but it's in the uncomfortable places that I find growth. It's in the uncomfortable places that I find expansion. It's in the uncomfortable places that I find myself turning into someone I never thought I could be. Turning into someone that I never thought I could be. In your comfort zone, you only see yourself as a very limited version. But stepping out of that box is where you find out what all you can do, right? There's a reason why I don't have a sports car. I don't trust myself. But me and my friend was talking about me just taking one for a test drive. And so they have like little places where you can rent the sports car. And I was like, man, I want to rent one. And I just want to go out to an open road somewhere in the country. And I just want to push it. Like, I want to see how fast it can go. I want to see what it can do. And she was like, this is why you don't drive a sports car. Because I don't trust me. I don't trust myself. Right. But when you are out of that box, when you're out of your comfort zone, you get to find out what all you can do. You get to find out how much you can punch it. You get to find out that I thought I was running at full speed, but now I figured out I wasn't reaching half of my potential. I wasn't reaching a fourth of who I could be. I thought I had reached max capacity because I was celebrated at this job. It wasn't until I got out of that job that I figured out you so much more, right? So much more. All right. Last one is the fear of judgment. I'm laughing because I ain't even got to what to do about it. This is going to have to be a part 2. I haven't even got to the second part yet. I don't know why I thought I could go through all of this in one day. All right. Fear of judgment. What will they say about me? What will they say if I decide to leave the marriage? What will they say if I decide to pursue entrepreneurship? What will they say if I put in for that promotion? What will they say if I start dressing different? What will they say if I start talking different? What will they say if I start posting about my business? What will they say if I stop hanging around them? What will they say if I stop acting different? What will they say about me? I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna say everything. They're gonna say I'm you everything but a child of God, okay? What will they say? When I found out that I was going to college, right? And I went to college in San Antonio in undergrad, which from Austin is only a 45-minute drive. So leaving Austin, moving to San Antonio. Looking at it now, I wish I would have moved further, right? And this is why. This is why, y'all. Like, I promise you, whatever you feel like you are right now or what you feel you're capable of right now, there's so much more. When I got accepted into college, first of all, I thought it was a joke. I had applied to colleges because the counselor at our school was like, I was like, well, I'm just going to community college. I was like, I'm just going to community college. I'm gonna get this 2-year. It was a 2-year degree to be a probation officer. Because I was like, that's because 2 years was the shortest thing it was literally the shortest amount of time on the list of things that they gave me jobs. And the one that had the shortest amount of time in school was to be a probation officer. I was like, oh, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do with my life. That's it. And so I wasn't gonna apply to any other schools. The counselor was like, Brittainy, you're going to apply for 4-year colleges or we're gonna have a family meeting. And I don't really fool my family. So I was like, okay, fine, but whatever, I'll apply. It ain't like I'm gonna get in. I'm just gonna apply. So I did the applications and I got my acceptance from UTSA and I took it to my uncle. I read it. It said, congratulations, we're happy to have you, blah, blah, blah. Here's how you start. And I'm like, is this spam mail? I took it to my uncle and me and my uncle were both looking at the letter trying to figure out if it was real or not. Because he had never, and I'm telling y'all, my uncle was a plumber, so he never went to a 4-year college. There was no one in our family who had ever gone to a 4-year university, much less a university outside of our hometown, right? So I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going to college, right? And we go tell our family and everybody. We had like a family barbecue a few days later. When I tell you, the people, they didn't talk about me behind my back. They talked about me to my face. You gonna do what? What you mean you going to San Antonio? You can't live by yourself in San Antonio. Who gonna take care of you? Where you gonna get that? You probably gonna come back pregnant. Don't be out there dating nobody. Don't do this. You ain't gonna make it. Like, to my face. Not behind my back. To my face. You're gonna get pregnant. You'll be back before the end of the first semester. You're gonna go broke. You better hope this don't happen. You better hope that don't happen. All of this, right? So when you talk about fear of judgment, it's a luxury if they talk about you behind your back. It's a whole nother thing when they talk about you to your face. I had to decide that the possibility of I could be was more important than who they thought I was. Understand, when people judge you, especially your family, when they judge you for acting different, when they judge you for making a different decision, when they judge you for doing something outside of what has always been done, it's not that they're judging you. They're judging themselves for not making decisions the way that you do. Me choosing to leave was nothing more than highlighting to them every decision that they didn't make to make themselves better. When I chose to go out to college by myself with no support, it highlighted to them how they were codependent in their own family systems, how they didn't trust themselves enough to move to a city where they knew no one, move to a city where they had no support, move to a city where they had no resources. Okay, we'll talk about the 3-hour bus drive to school one day. Right? Had nothing to rely on but themselves. When they see you doing the thing that you're doing, what triggers within themselves is, who is she to remind me of who I'm not? Who is she to remind me of what I'm not doing? Who is he to remind me of the dream that I gave up on? Every time they see you elevating, they see you, and many times you ain't even successful yet. All you did was make a new decision, and that new decision triggered all of their own insecurities for things that they know that they have not done for themselves. And so the judgment that they are casting is not about who you are, it's about who they are. And so I had to decide, I would rather see what's capable for me. Hear me. Because again, I'm the first in my family to do a whole bunch of stuff, right? When I got that acceptance, literally, when I got that acceptance to college, it was the first time that my reality challenged who I thought I was. I thought I was only good enough for a community college 2-year degree to be somebody's probation officer. I thought I was only good enough because, mind you, I told myself I'm not smart enough for school. I'm not smart enough for college. Like, no. I graduated grad school with a 3.98 GPA. 3.98. Barely a 4.0, right? And I blame not hitting the 4.0 because I was going through trauma. Right? But this is the same person who thought that they couldn't make it through a 4-year degree. This is the same person who thought that they couldn't make it through an actual college program. This is the same person who thought that they didn't have what it took to move away from home and make it by themselves. When you have the opportunity for your reality to give you a chance to prove to yourself, I'm more than what they called me. I'm more than what I came from. I'm more than what they said I was. You have the obligation to prove to yourself, I want to see how far I can run. With every opportunity you get, I want to see what I can do with it. I may be afraid of it. I may be afraid to touch it. I may be afraid to lose it. But with what it is, I want to see what is possible with the realm of what I have available to me to do it. Right? I want to see what's possible. For the longest, that was my mantra. I want to see how far I can go. I don't know if I'll make it. I don't know if I'll graduate. I don't know if I can do it on my own, but I just want to see. Trust yourself enough. Love yourself enough. Give yourself enough for just the possibility. I just want to see what happens with it. Because you have to understand, so many people have underestimated you in your life. So many people have not seen your light. So many people have told you what you can't do and what you can't be and what you can't have. So many people have projected their fears and insecurities onto you that when it comes time for you to prove them wrong and prove yourself wrong, I hope you take that chance. I hope you take that chance to say, I want to see what happens if I give it my all. I want to see what happens if I put my foot in it. I want to see what happens if I show up fully, wholly myself. I just want to see what happens. Love yourself enough to say, even if mama didn't believe in me, if daddy didn't believe in me, if they told me I wasn't good enough for it, if they told me I wasn't smart, whatever it is, I want to see. Let me find out. Let me find out. And every time that you have evidence in your reality that challenges what you believe about yourself, Take that evidence and run with it. I took that college acceptance and ran. Do you hear me? Ran with it. Okay. My first apartment was because I lived off campus. It was an efficiency. $400 a month, dear God. Jesus, that was a blessing. I'd take that right now today. I'd take it today. But and we're gonna come. Okay, we're gonna finish the rest of this tomorrow. But remember when I told you guys every dream has a midwife? And there are people that come into your life specifically to help you. Because of my birthday, I'm always like a year behind. So when I started school, I was still 17 years old when I started college. And so technically you can't get an apartment in your name. I went into the apartment complex. I was with my grandmother, and we explained the situation. I turned 18 in like 60 days. Can I please just give me the apartment? Because I wasn't staying on campus and I was staying off campus. I couldn't afford on campus. So I was staying off campus. And I was like, please, just please. I don't have a job. I don't have a car. All I got is this acceptance from college. That's it. That's it. Okay. All I got is this acceptance. Can you please give me this apartment? And the lady that was working with us, she was like, I can't approve that. Let me go talk to the manager. She went and got the manager. Manager comes out and explained to her everything. And she's just looking at me and she was like, we don't do this. She's like, legally, I cannot give you this apartment. She was like, but we are. And she put my grandmother's name on it for the first few months. And then after that, she switched it over to mine. And she was like, she said, whatever you do, just pay your rent on time. That's it. Just pay your rent. And that was her taking a gamble on me, right? I 100% know that was nobody but God, right? And this is why I say every dream, whatever dream you have, there are provisions and resources attached to the dream. When I took that acceptance, I didn't ask myself how. I wasn't even insightful enough to think about the how. All I knew is I got the acceptance. I'm moving to San Antonio. I'm gonna figure it out along the way. Right? I'm gonna figure it out along the way. And what happens is everything you don't have becomes available. Everything you don't have shows up at your doorstep. Everything you don't have, you have favor and grace attached to the vision. And this is why there are certain levels of happiness and fulfillment and growth that you can't get to unless you allow yourself to live within the vision, in the dream, in the purpose, because there's certain things that are attached to the purpose that you don't have access to unless I'm walking in the purpose, right? God knew I needed to be in San Antonio because I needed to get the degree that would lead to the next degree that would lead to me moving to Houston. It's all orchestrated, right? So give yourself permission to say, I want to see what can happen. I don't got to plan it out step by step. All I got to know is I got this acceptance. I got this opportunity. I got this good person in my life. I got this thing. Now let me see what it could be. That's it. All right. Now we're talking about fear because I went off on a tangent. But I get happy. I get excited because fear is not something that I have allowed to run my life. It's present every day. Believe me, it's present every day. But I don't allow it to run my life because I have too much evidence. I have too much evidence of times where I was afraid, yet I still overcame. Times when I was afraid, but I still did the thing. I have too much evidence that supports fear is not as powerful as it tells me it is. I got too much evidence. All right. So since we didn't get to it today, tomorrow, I'm going to give you strategic steps to overcoming the fear. Okay. I'm going to give you strategic steps for how do I literally walk through my fear. Since I did not get through it today. All right. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful Monday. Be on the lookout for some emails. I will see y'all tonight for the focus group, 7 p.m. I'm going to post the link to the post. I'll email it out and I'll post it in the Patreon. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful day and I'll see y'all later. Bye.